Good morning. This morning I want to talk to you about a word called yada. Now, I don't mean Yoda, even though the second season of Mandalorian is going to be next month in October. And I don't really exactly mean what maybe the previous generation might remember from the show Seinfeld, a lady saying, a Jewish woman on the show saying yada 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 to fill in for the conversation that was going on and on. But that is the source of the word. It's the Hebrew word yada. Tony Evans gives us a definition of this word as it's used in the Bible, in the Old Testament. The yada is the verb to know, or at least one of the verbs in the Hebrew language for to know. He says, yada is the idea of plummeting into the reality of another person, to know deeply and be deeply known. He then adds that the word is used in reference to knowing God, and it captures the personal interaction that we have with Him. Well, isn't that what you deeply desire? I think that's what we talked about last week. And it would be instructive if you, like I did, could go through all 873 times that the word is used to see how it morphs, how God develops it. So to make that really clear, how He wants to know you deeply, and how He has always known you deeply, and how He wants to plummet you into the knowledge of His reality. So let's do this in a couple of parts. Let's begin by looking at one verse in the Psalms, Psalm 25:14. It says there, the secret counsel of the Lord is for those who fear Him, and He reveals, He yadas, His covenant to them. So the idea of yada, knowing or plummeting us into the reality of God in this verse, is translated reveals. Sometimes yada means knowing, and sometimes it means making known. It depends on how the verb is used. God is saying He wants to make His relationship with us known. He wants to plummet us into the full reality of who He is and how deeply He loves us. The aspect of knowing Him really comes alive when this word begins to be used in the Psalms. Let me just read to you a few Psalms besides the one we just read, so you can see how this works. The very first Psalm, Psalm 1, verse 6 ends, "For Yahweh knows the way of the righteous." And then verse 4:3, chapter 4:3 says, "But know that Yahweh has set apart him that is godly for Himself. But they that know Thy name will put their trust in Thee," says chapter 9, verse 10. And then verse 9, verse 16 says, "Yahweh is known by the judgment that He executed." 16:11, another favorite we looked at last week, "Thou wilt show me the path of life." That is the word yada. "You will make known to me the path of life. In Thy presence is fullness of joy, and at Thy right hand are pleasures forevermore." So the psalmist in 25 verse 4 says, "Show me Thy ways, O Yahweh. Teach me Your paths." 36:10, "O continue Thy loving kindness unto me, unto them that know Thee. Yahweh knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance will be forever." So can you hear how in each one of these places the psalmist is saying Yahweh knows, God knows my days. He knows me inside out. Psalm 139 is really all about that, and it's a study in itself. But let's end with the next one, probably that comes in the order I was reading it. In Psalm 46:10, God says, "Be still and know that I am God." He knows you completely. He is plummeted fully into the reality of who you are. Now, if you will just be still and allow His Spirit, whom He has given to plummet us into the reality of who He is, to make you know, to make you aware that He is God, that He will be exalted among the nations, that He is the end of the story and beginner of the story, I think you can carry that with you a long time. At least that's what the Psalms and the rest of the Old Testament and the New Testament tell us. We'll be back for part 2 next time.